Hey guys, it's me, and I'm here trying to figure out all of my controls, and I think I might have messed everything up. Oh man. So now I'm trying to see whether what audio we have. I feel like we might have messed up my audio somehow. So here we go. We're trying to figure stuff out. Um, okay. And so I'm just going through here, and what I'm trying to do is listen to my own show, which is harder than it looks. Okay, but can you hear the music? That's the question. That's the question. Hi, Brent. Oh no, your break is almost over. That's a bummer. Hey, but look at my new opening credits. I'm like all excited. Good morning, Donald. It's good to see you. Oh man, here I am trying to figure all this out. Okay, so my question is, are you hearing? I probably should turn the music down. No music. So we're on the ground mic, which there's nothing I can do about that. Once on the ground mic, I stay on the ground mic for 2 hours. So I guess I'll just turn off the music. It was pretty cool. So one of the bugs they're still trying to iron out with Restream is if I don't, every time I have to go in and select line input, and if I forget to do the switch on there to line input, then it automatically defaults to taking the camera's microphone, and that's it. And so I don't have an option on this one. And so I may have audio, but it's me in a cave audio, which is where we are. So, which is harder when I'm over here because now I'm facing away from the camera and you can't hear me as well, And so that's sadly me in a cave because I've learned this one. There's no switching it now. I can't switch in the middle. So I don't know. I've never tried switching in the middle, but I feel like if I switch in the middle, like right now, you'll probably lose. Let's see what happens there. Oh, you might actually still have me because it actually did the camera flip thing. Well, you can have tea then. And there might be enough. So can you hear me now? Can you hear me through this microphone? Did I switch microphones? Because if so, we've solved the problem. I can bring up music again. And let's see if that worked. Boy, we are having some... Oh, good. Well, here, have some music. There. Now you can hear me, and I can adjust the music, and all's good. But now I have opening credits. The opening credits are cool. I'm very proud of the opening credits. Okay, well, we have solved this technical issue. At least they fixed that one problem. Back a couple of weeks ago, there was a real problem with if I switched from the camera mic to the line-in mic. I know, it's like almost a full show. I've got opening credits, got ending credits, I got everything. I got the whole 9 yards. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. A couple of things I'd like for them to fix. The credits roll underneath these overlays. So it'd be nice if I could get the credits to roll on top of the overlays. But, hey, See you later, Brent. It was good having you here, and kind of bummed you'll have to see the replay tonight, but that's okay. That's okay. You'll be here in spirit, and that's the important part. Don't inhale. That won't help any. Just like Clinton. Okay, so let's look at some work to do today. What work can we do today? Oh, man. It's been a morning. So we have a couple of things coming up with Fred. So let's take a look at what we've got with Fred. We'll work on that today. I'm pretty good with that. Pretty good with all of that. Let's go ahead and launch Clip Studio Paint, because we'll need to be on Clip Studio today. I'm going ahead and prep up that screen 2 for when we get there, but we're not there yet. Not there yet. We're still waiting for Clip Studio to load. There we go. We'll load Paint. This takes a little while. And I would have had it launched, but I was dinking with all the other systems here. As is typical. As was ordained by the prophets. Still loading. Takes a while. So how are you guys this morning? How's the world? Is everybody okay? Wow. It takes so long that Microsoft does it's taking too long. You sure it's not dead? There we go. Close this. Yeah, okay. Now, one of the things I want to do is I'm moving things over to Clip Studio. I feel like Clip Studio Paint's good for a lot of these things, so we're going to do that. I'm going to try working on Fred's pieces today in Clip Studio. So, we're going to load page 103 today. Let's load page 103. It'll take forever. We'll load page 103. There we go. Oh, my system's running slow. I'm asking a lot out of it, I guess, today. Oh, yeah. Well, it's also been the weather has not been good. We've had a lot of real... take the music down a little. There we go. How about that? Is the music good? Are we good with the music? Okay. So, we've got ourselves this piece right here. Can you spill the tea? So, I have been hearing that either there's something like we've got extra junk in the air or something, but nobody seems to be doing well with breathing today. So, I get that. So let's go on ahead and switch over to this. All right. So I think the idea that we had, the plan here for this particular piece, and we're still in the design stage, so I'm going to apparently, I think I have my chair too high. There we go. Excellent. So yeah, I don't think you're the only one that's having problems breathing, my friend. I think that all of the people here are having some issues breathing. So we're going to do a new layer. I'm going to take the real pencil here. Extra sleepy. I understand that one. I think I'm chaotic sleepy. I've decided I'm chaotic sleepy. Right? There are, I mean, it's fires, and we've got all kinds of stuff going on. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about what we want to do here. So, a gem is an earthworm, hence the name. So we're gonna make an earthworm out of this guy. But I also feel like we should. I've got this kind of set up in this way where I don't really necessarily like the layout here. Why is it making... Oh, I didn't mean for that to happen. That's interesting. I really just want a regular non-gradient. Is that fill? That's fill. Okay. Right? Those sexy flour sacks. So let's talk a little bit about flour sacks. Because, first of all, Luna did some incredible flour sacking work last night, which was really fun. She made flour sacks. But here's where flour sacks practically are useful, right? We have 4 individuals here. And I really want to give some emotion to them, right? So if we were to say, okay, don't think of these things as gyms or anything like that. Oh, come on, work with me here, huh? We don't worry about these things as gyms or anything like that. We'll make them into flour sacks. So this flour sack is easy, right? Just one flour sack. Dead on the ground. Right? He's got a knife in him. Somebody stabbed the flour sack. Right? Now this flour sack, though, we want to... Sleeping poses. Look at all these sleeping flour sacks. This guy, he's trying to figure out using magic. Right? I like him. Right? So this guy's using magic. So let's figure out how the flour sack would use magic, right? And a flour sack here. And you got kind of the sack like that and like that. You want him to be able to wiggle his arms, so he puts this arm here and this arm here. And he's trying to wiggle his arms. But the important part here is how I've bent the body forward, right? Let's get rid of this part right there. And this is how flour sacks are useful in this instance. Right? There we go. This flour sack is kind of like, well, he done asked for it or whatever. I don't know. So we got just a little bit there. Just kind of like little here sort of thing. As far as flower sacks go, why, he's just standing there, right? He's got a hoe or something. He's just kind of holding on to. But this Jim, why, he just sitting right back here. Good old boy just sitting right back here, just being work, right? And this flour sack, this is probably the one who is involved in either is upset about this or something. But this flour sack's got, like there. There we go. Okay. A couple of things we can learn from this particular layout. One, we need to move it up. Two, we need to rescale it. Okay. Knife that flour sack. At least they can dust for prints. Ha 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 ha. That was clever. Right, now we have expressed everything we need to express about this with the flour sacks. Right? Right, I don't know whether that one's guilty or not. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this flour sack would be more inclined to be like that. Right? Either crying or upset. Whatever's the story. There we go. There. So, this is a bulb. So we'll put the bulb head here. This is a Jim. So we'll put the Jim head here. And this is actually a human-esque person. So you can put in all the structure for a human here. All right. This is another bulb. So, there we go. So all we're doing here is just putting in the anatomy for this guy, right? And it fits. The flour sack still fits. We're just going to clean it up a little. The flour sack still fits over here as well. But we're going to clean this up. Right? We got distraught over here. I think it'd be funny to have some random bulb over here going, like, oh no, it's dead dude. This Jim is like, well, oh no, it's dead dude. There we go. There, just like that. I like the fact that you're going all out on this flower sacking thing. I mean, I really am. I am very fascinated by the idea of changing the concept over. There we go, just like that. I'm really having an issue with this. Huh. Well, there's no consistency to that. Well, there you go. I inspired her to do these things. I think that's great. I want to see armatured flour sacks. I think that'd be hysterically fun. I just love the fact that you made them out of flour. I think that's the best part about the whole thing. Making them out of flour. Right? I love those things. All those animation skills and things like that, always so useful. And it's funny how animation skills become useful. Okay, so what is going on? I'm getting a stall on the... There we go. You can see it there. I don't know what's causing this stall, but I'm getting a stall. That's very weird. Yeah, I agree. You should send some pictures. It'd be awesome. But more importantly, make sure you label them with the right emotion so that we know what emotion you're headed for. What we would do in... it's all right. We'll figure it out. One of the things... It's still saying that there we go. One of the things that I have noticed was that when we would do those flour sacking in college, the way we would do it is to take a specific right. We take an adjective, right. We tried to take we actually had like a hat, and inside the hat, it wasn't really a hat, it was a bucket, but you get the idea. We had folded up pieces of paper that were emotions, sometimes adjectives, sometimes it was, I don't know if, anyway, it was things so that you'd pull this out of the hat and you had to draw it, right? Nowadays, I use like a random adjective generator, and I just hit cool, and then it comes up with stuff, and I'm like, ooh, that looks good. But the idea, was that it was supposed to keep you like frosty, so somebody could just throw things at you Let's take a look here and see if I can't figure this out. Branding and right. Like rebel, right? So it just said rebel or psychotic, complex. Oh man, abstracted. I mean, some of these are probably impossible. Belligerent. Belligerent's a good one. So let's look at belligerent, right? How would you take and portray belligerence? New. Yeah, that's good. How would you take and portray belligerence in flour sack form, right? What does belligerence look like, right? And so, I'd probably cross the arms, right? That's what you want to do. And then the body language would be like this, right? Not going anywhere. I'm not doing it. Right? Belligerence. So, you want to express the body language. Really express the body language. We're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. We're belligerent. Right? No. Right? Belligerence. So, that's how we would do it as animators. That was the point. Because the idea here is to clear up the body language. I would, actually, now I'm looking at this, I would sit there and I would do this, right? 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 But you don't get a head. That's why we do flour sacks. You don't get a head. You don't get eyebrows, you don't get a head, you don't get anything like that. All you get is just the body. And the point behind flour sacking is to express with the body the thing that you would want to express on here. You can see in his shoulders right here, on its shoulders, I guess, could be a her shoulders. You can see on the shoulders right there that we've got these raised shoulders, right? The shoulders have gone up. The body is closed in. I've swayed backwards like this with the back so that it's definitely, and what we're doing here is just expressing that. It does, doesn't it? Kind of looks like that. Thug with the pants around it. It's a belligerent thug. Right? So belligerence. Then you do another one. Right? We go bonk. Right. Right. And that one's tough. Some of these, it's easy to do belligerence, right? Question is, how do you do right? So now we have to do correct, right. He's right. So what do you do when you are right? You smile. Well, that's great, but we can't use a face. So what's the body do when you're right? Ooh, right? You got kind of you raise your arms. you lean in, right? So we'll raise the arms like this. We'll lean in. Right? Oh man, there's something lagging here. Right? And still a little bit of work on that shoulder area. Which, by the way, if you've ever wondered, that monster from Bugs Bunny is totally a flour sack. I'm just saying. Somebody said, we're flour sacking, and then they're like, we need a monster. And somebody just took the flour sack. Also kind of looks like this would double as there we go, like more like that. There we go. Right? So, oh, I'm right. You know, your arms are forward. Oh, I'm right. Well, you're looking at your body. What are you doing whenever you? Oh, I'm right. So I think you're right. I mean, we could caricature this. And like have like this and yay, I'm right. And that certainly would work. I win. It's funny because the simpler ones are harder. Everything for Monster Inc. is a flour sack. It's just really funny because this is another one of those insider secrets that once you know it, you see it everywhere. But it's easy, right? We start out by learning to emote with a flour sack. And that's actually one of the skills that we're taught. So then you start emoting with a flour sack. Yay! Got a flour sack. That's what I got here. All right? So once you see it, you'll see it everywhere. It's harder to tell the simpler ones. Right? Afraid. There's another one. Afraid. So what does the body look like when it's afraid? Well, first, it's very like this, like belligerent. We're going to be back. You'll be like, oh, right? You've got your arms clutched close. Right? Very close, like this. Even more clutched like this. You're clutching your pearls. Oh my God. Ermagerd. Right? The body is back. Again, just like before, the shoulders are raised. And here's another thing. The body is twisted, right? We've twisted the upper torso. Right? But as a human, we don't really... I mean, you want the cartoonish afraid, right? This is the... you know, that kind of afraid. So that's kind of where we are on this one, right? So we've got this, like, sort of... oh, noes! You know, clutching the pearls over here. Twisted, the body's twisted away, turned. everything's moving this way across the body. And then this is tight, like this, pulled up. These guys are tight in here. Everything is all clitched together. Right? So, there we go with that. And we'll try another one, because we'll do one more, because this is kind of fun. It's a good warm-up, too. Asleep. Asleep. So... Right? Asleep is actually kind of difficult. It's not easy. Because you want to convey asleep, but you don't want to convey dead. Right? So how do you convey asleep without conveying dead? Here we go. So we're just kind of doing this here. We are definitely having some kind of lag issue. I feel like it should be rounder, though, to be kind of more adorable. Like snoring. Oh, yeah. Asleep on their side might not be a bad thing, right? So there's nothing wrong with a remake. Let's go through and see that. Flour sack butts. So let's see. What can we do with a side view, like on their side, right? So when somebody's on their side, and one leg that way, one leg this way, right? Yeah. And you have one arm like that, arm like that. Right? I've been meaning to do more warm-ups during the show anyway. I feel like I'm not warming up well, and I'm getting into drawing without properly warming up, which is problematic at best. we have an entire discussion about flower sac butts going on now. So there's flower sac butts happening between Luna and Donald. Donald says he likes flower sac butts and he cannot lie. MC Flower McHammer. There you go. That's for Brent's benefit because Brent will be coming back to watch this later. So there you go, guys. We're flower sac butting. There. Now, the thing I like about this design is we look like we are dealing with it's okay. You can karaoke all day long, Donald. You do that. I like this better because this does look like somebody sleeping as opposed to here, which looks like somebody dying. Right? So I actually kind of feel like I want to do something different with this arm. Ooh, not that one. There we go. More like this, right? I don't know. I'm having a problem with this arm. I think it was actually okay where it was, which was up here, kind of like this. Man, I'm getting a stall. What's so weird is I don't get a stall whenever I do test runs like this. I get a stall whenever I get in here to draw my drawing. I'm not sure what that means. Yep, sexy sleep with the leg crossed over. Although, I kind of feel like it's not necessarily sexy so much as just propping yourself up so you don't fall over. Right? Yep. All right. Sleep. Like I said, sometimes the simple ones are the hardest ones. Right? See what the random adjective generator gives us next. Shallow. I'll skip that one. Ugly. That one's hard too. Mental. Consistent. Nervous. Nervous is one we can use. You feel validated that your sleepy wasn't too far off, huh? So nervous. What do we look like when we're nervous? Right? Sleepy can definitely have beautiful poses without trying. I agree. Why do I feel like the music's too loud? Do we feel like the music's too loud, guys? I mean, we got like this kind of piano-y piece going, but I can't tell whether that's too loud or not. Okay. So, we got to be nervous. Nervous, we can hunch over on a nervous. Look at that. That's stalling somehow. Nervous is like afraid in a lot of ways. We're going to have arms clutching forward like this. Right? We're going to be still clutching forward, but this time we're leaning in. So now the body is leaning this way, right? So this is really what we're after here, is this shaking and sweating is fine if you've got the ability and the tools to show shaking and sweating. But if you assume that you have one frame to express something, which is sort of the point behind Flour Sack, we assume we have just this one frame. Right? Then we've got to do the same thing with just one frame. Nervous. So here we go. We're just going to make him look a little bit more like a flour sack right through here. We're just kind of cleaning this up there. There. Well, and yes, I mean, I certainly could do chatter, 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 and that will make you think that he's shaking, but that's not the point. The point is you can't use, because this would look silly in an animation if the character just stood there and lines went all around him. You'd be like, is he radiating? Is that sound? What's the noise? So you can't do that with animation. So the rules of Flour Sack is that I can't use symbols like you could use in comics. In a comic, that's exactly how I would express it, is by that's how I would express nervous, is with a sweat bead or with shaking on either side. But since this is animation, and at least that's our goal, I have to express it using only the tools at hand, which is one frame of an animation. The idea is that we've got one frame, just the one, right? So here we are doing that. Why? Every program is glitched in some way. I'm not getting a clean program out of anybody. CSP is doing that, which is ridiculous. And Photoshop is having problems with me logging in. So I'm unable to use either program now. That's very frustrating to me. We may have a problem with this computer. And that would be irritating too. Oh, good. There we go. That's perfect. Let's see if I can't open that. And put this over here. There we go. To be fair, they're kind of making me hungry. Look at that. That's kind of cool. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. That's beautiful. Next, random adjective generator. Swift. Icky. Economic. So sometimes the adjective generator just generates an adjective you can't do anything with. There's nothing you can do with economic. Skinny. Sable. Wet. Wow. There you go. Enthusiastic. There's one we can use. Enthusiastic. Again, with the body is very, very, very forward. Make sure the shoulders are down. Music's appropriately enthusiastic. Right. Economic. It's just throwing money everywhere. Woo! Money, money, money. I have played the game with this being, you could almost do, yay! I have played the game where you have to play the ball where it lies sort of thing. And you have to play whatever the economic or whatever the generator says. So if it says economic, okay. Well, I have to adjust for this because there's a certain amount of music. So now that I've got an opening and closing theme for my show, I don't need to adjust the music anymore to the opening theme. Before, I was just playing a 2-hour mix or a 2-hour MP3, which I'd gone and engineered it so that the opening credits were at a normal volume, and then all the rest of it was at a very, 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 very light volume. Well, now I've got opening and ending credits, so I don't need to worry about that. So, right? Political cartoons for flour sacks. Flour sacks for your political cartoons. You know what? Sometimes I think that our politicians could be replaced by flour sacks and it'd be almost as good. Okay. Generic political. Because I'm not going to name any names. All of them kind of are brutal to me. So, one of the things I have noticed is when we look at when we put the arm up here like this, it actually makes this look aggressive, right? So really, I think we want this arm to be forward like this, enthusiastic, and then this arm could be forward a little too, like that. We're heading for enthusiastic. But when they're up like that, it looks aggressive and almost like our little flower sac wants to do something mean to you. So let's not do that. I'm trying to. That doesn't work. I thought it would work, and it didn't. I'm going to try to twist the flower sac's arms a little bit so that they looked a little bit more like they were up instead of down. Actually, didn't turn out bad, though. There. Some flower sac work going on here, man. Wow. Superhero flower sacks using ties as lassos and snapping people with the corners of the sacks. Oh man, that's funny. That's good. Flower sack anime. Flubber. Flubber was a good series of films. All right. Let's see what our random generator does next. Mundane. Lucky. Puzzling. Old. Old. Interesting because you think about old and you're like, how could you possibly express old, right? Well, old can be expressed as, hunched over like this. Old is a good one because people look at old and think, yeah, the Robin Williams version was good too. You look at this and you think, well, how could you express old in a flower sack? And definitely, though, you want this hunched over. Right. There. Yep, kitties always make... Luna's having problems because the cats are trying to eat the flour sacks. If you want to cheat just a little bit, because you can cheat just a little bit, you give them the cane, right? And this is cheating just a hair, because we're not supposed to use props. But old can be expressed. Which, by the way, being able to flour sack, horribly useful when you're playing Pictionary. I'm just saying. This becomes a terribly useful Pictionary skill. I can see that. So this week I'm still kind of feeling like I'm not quite organized. I'm also kind of feeling like my poor computer here. I don't know. I have problems with Photoshop, and I'm having problems with Clip Studio as well. And I'm not sure what's going on. Clip Studio's hesitating, and I don't know what that's about. We'll have to figure that out. That's probably a setting set wrong. But they probably do taste salty. They're like a salt lick. Luna is saying that her cat is attacking her various little flour sacks that she made. And so... I don't see... Well, I've had this a couple of times. Hang on real quick. Bring up Task Manager and take a look. Let's take a look at the performance on this. Well, that's interesting. Nothing else. Check that out. Look at what's going on with C Drive. That is a lot of reading and writing to C Drive. Especially since it's not saying anything's actually... It's Google Drive and Sync again. I am surprised. And that looks more like it. Yep. Okay. I'm really aggravated. That looks like that's part of the... Oh, yeah, you can't. Because I'm on Spotlight. There. Now you can see it. What you didn't see before was that it was floored the entire time. Until I turned off Google Drive and Sync. So, sadly, it looks like I not only have to pause Drive and Sync, but I have to kill Google Drive. Otherwise... So, part of this is this. I had, I know that you weren't here for this, but I had 2 hard drives that were in my old computer. and I was going to consolidate those two hard drives into one 6 terabyte that I put in here. And so I went and bought this external USB 3.0 connector, which had docks on top. And you just plug in the hard drives on the top, and they transfer. Then you transfer the data. I plugged them in, and they ran for about a day. And see, Google can watch my TV show. That's fine. Just don't try to suck up all my bandwidth while you're doing it. They worked for about a day, and then on day 2, one of the hard drives started throwing errors. You try to copy something and it'd error out. You try to copy something and it'd error out. It's looking a bit better now. Looking a lot more reasonable. And even the CPU looks like it's pretty decent. Not getting a lot out of that. So it started throwing errors, and then I was like, well, okay, maybe it was my oldest drive, so maybe it was just dying. So there wasn't a lot on that drive anymore anyway. So I pulled it out and put the other drive in. And then all of a sudden, the second drive started throwing errors. And I was like, no, wait a minute, this is a newer drive. And then the third drive started throwing errors. And I was like, well, now wait a minute, something's going down here. So I had the wisdom to turn off and unmount the 2 drives. But then when I tried to bring them back up again, and I actually opened up this door on the side here and pulled out a connector and a power cord and just plugged it into the side here and set the drive on a plate right here so that it wouldn't be shorted out. When I plugged it in, it no longer had an NTFS file system anymore. Both the drives had been stripped of their headers. And so they can't be read. Now I'm going to have to go send them to someplace to be recovered. Luckily, most of my stuff was on Google Drive, but I have a terabyte of it. And it has taken all this time, 3 weeks, to download all that terabyte. And if I let Google Drive have its free reign, it does what you just saw here. It sucks up everything on the system. And I'm hopeful. Well, I've run Trend Micro's House Call is what I like to use for the exact same reason that I don't like. First of all, I hate it when virus protection does the pay us money or we will keep putting pop-ups in the way all the time until you pay us money, and you can't uninstall it and things like that. I don't like that at all. Trend Micro has a thing called House Call, where you just pretty much you scan your drives whenever you think you need to do it. But the other thing I don't like about virus protection is that it's constantly stopping you so it can check everything you're downloading off the web. So anything that you get off the web, even off of sites that you know are absolutely safe, it has to say, wait, we're looking through your doc files on your Google Drive to make sure none of them are viruses. Yeah. So what I tend to do is I tend to run House Call every week just to make sure everything's okay. And usually Windows Defender does a pretty good job. So between Windows Defender and House Call, I'm keeping everything pretty good. It is kind of funny, though. I found these really old little hard drives in my basement, and they have like all of my old stuff on them, and they're still running. They're still just doing fine. But I'll tell you now, plug this guy in. The first thing that happened was Defender said, "Wow, that thing's riddled with viruses." I was like, okay, clean the viruses. So I ran House Call on it and found like 15 viruses, a couple of Trojans. It was like, wow. It was pretty brutal. And it's, these old hard drives from 1 million years ago when I had no idea what I was doing. And, I was a newbie I wasn't a newbie in school or in computer world, but I was a newbie kind of in this I didn't know what viruses would do. I didn't know I didn't have a procedure. Was really what it boils down to, is I didn't have a procedure. So anyway, I'm going to get back to flour sacking over here, and we're going to take a look at the CPU and see if it spikes when I drive, or when I'm steering, so to speak here. So we'll do that, and then we'll see whether that works or not. Who knows? So, because if that's the case, then our problem really is, nope, it's still stalling, but I'm not seeing a stall there. I'm just drawing lines because it was stalling before when I drew. Trying to determine where this problem is. Yeah, I'm a DOS guy as well. Worked a lot with DOS. A little bit of stalling there. Well, I saw one small glitch before. Like it stalls there. And it stalled there. I don't see any spikes over here. But I am seeing some hard drive spiking here. So this seems to be related to reading and writing on the hard drive. Which makes me wonder. Because it seems like the program isn't taking up. I mean, it's only taking up less than half of my my memory. I don't see any major. Well, I see a couple of small spikes off of the Wi-Fi. I don't really see anything going on here. That's the thing. Let's see if we can't look over here to see if there's any kind of preferences to run off of. Okay. 3D. Okay, edit text. Right, color conversion. Tools. Tablets. Might be the tablet. Maybe I need to use something else. So use tools with finger. Okay. Doesn't matter. Only target raster layers and layer masks. Interface. What I'm looking for here is some control performance, maybe. Allocate to application. Memory size to use. So this looks like what I was kind of hoping for was something that says use the GPU. And I'm not seeing really anything in here that's saying use the GPU. Mostly because that's what I'm really thinking is if we can use... Oh, well. There we go. So we're not using really much of the GPU at all. And I could use that GPU for this. But clearly I don't think we actually use the GPU for anything. So that's kind of a bummer. But it doesn't seem like it's using up a lot of hard drive or memory space, but it seems to read and write to the hard drive. I'm kind of worried that there might be something weird with my C drive. That's what's worrying me, right? Bring it up. Yeah. Okay, so everything seems to be... Are we using music? What is it doing? Iron Maiden. Why are you doing Iron Maiden? What are we doing? So what is... No, it's not a solid state. I couldn't afford a solid state on the upgrade. But let's be realistic here. It shouldn't be that complicated. What is MSMPENG? That's one thing I want to find out now. Google. Here we go to Google. MS. This has become MPENG. Because whatever it's doing, it's going through our music directories. Okay, what is this? It's not spyware or malware. It's Windows Defender. Oh, I'm entertained. So, Windows Defender is scanning my hard drive even as we speak, and it's chewing up CPU cycles. Uh-huh. Well, that's part of it. Okay, so I've figured out part of our problem here. So part of it is that there's been a lot of activity on my hard drive while I move things over and copy things over from other hard drives and things like that. Oh, hi. Thanks. There. So part of this looks like it's trying to part of this looks like okay, so what's been happening is I've been copying a lot of stuff off of old hard drives and trying to consolidate all my data onto my 6 terabyte secondary drive, my D drive on here. And well, actually what it's saying on the Googles is, no, you really can't. It should only perform a scan when the computer is idle and outside of active hours. It says, however, it will do a scan if you've moved a lot of stuff over recently. And I think that's part of our problem, is that it's right now scanning to see what's going on. And I get the feeling that part of our problem is that. That's okay. I think we're going to be doing a short show today anyway, so that's not a real problem. We've got to get going and doing things before noon, so I'm going to have to get moving early today, which isn't a real problem. We'll figure it all out. The best part is that Brent's going to watch this show and go, oh, well, obviously it's blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, oh, Brent, you weren't here, though. See you later, Donald. Have a good day. I'm going to be leaving pretty soon too, so it's all good. We got about 8 or 9 minutes left in the show today, and then we're going to get going. So, besides, it's been we've been doing a tech check. But there is one thing that this is good about. The one thing that this makes me happy about is that it will. What we've learned here is that once everything has settled down, once I've done all the copying, once Defender has scanned everything, we shouldn't be having all the errors we're having at this moment. So that's what I'm looking at this point in time and thinking that's pretty good. I want to go ahead and close that. Do not save. I don't know if I want to save that or not. Yeah, you can always hope. One can always hope that I'll get some actual work done. I think part of this is also this whole a seed drive. Well, we did sort of. We've got Jim here, who's in his overalls and just hanging out and doing his thing and being all Jim-like. I'm hoping I can get some actual work done too, but we are settling in on a new computer. And the truth is, this is a tech run. We're running all the tech stuff today. So tech, right? Wow, my mouse is somewhere else completely. So anyway, that's where we are. We'll get there. The other thing I checked out today was whether I can run Restream off of here, and it looks like I can, which means that I could do shows where I draw and I just sit and draw. And that could be a thing where we actually could do non-screen share, but we can go places and do some various things. That's actually something I want to do as well. It's like head to a coffee shop or something and do a show from there where we're all drawing and I'm actually physically doing stuff. We're doing watercolors or something like that. That'd be cool. So, even if we were just to broadcast from right over there, that'd be great. Because we've got my huge Mayline desk is right here. And that'd be fun. It'd be fun to draw and do this from the Mayline. So there's that. So we've got some plans for this show. We got some plans, I'm telling you. We'll be doing some cool stuff. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and head out and go get lunch squared away and figure out what I'm doing because we kind of got some build your own lunch happening today. So we'll have to figure out how that goes. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Thank you for joining me today. And I'm hoping that this all works well. We'll find out, won't we? Anyway, so have a good day and keep your eyes on the stars. I'll see you tomorrow.